Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel and welcome to your daily energy check. Let's dive into the reading straight away. Today I've got the ancestors and angel deck, so we will get a message from the ancestors to begin with, and that will be the spirit of the reading. I hope that you enjoyed. Just realized that I probably should have gotten the lights better. That's okay. I hope you enjoyed the Divine Masculine check-in yesterday. It was quite an interesting reading. Let's do the classic read today. See what's going on with both twins. And of course, I do appreciate you clicking the like and subscribing to my channel if you're new. And we've got a card for Divine Feminines watching. It's a snake shedding the old skin. Yeah, so it's more than just sort of like cleansing things, because when you think about specifics, when you think about specific areas of your life, specific maybe painful events that you hear this and you think, yeah, I do want to shed the old skin, right? Like, it's not me anymore, I want to get rid of it. But the how is actually quite important, and a lot of times it's not just about like, I'm gonna stop thinking about it, right? Like out of sight, out of mind kind of idea. Or if you get rid of certain physical representation of that past part of your life, it's not necessarily that it's gonna be gone. So just be ready for that. And of course, we don't have to be too hard on ourselves and try to get it 100% right in one go, right? You can work with whatever is accessible to you right now. It's a really good idea to try and understand why that event or that time came into your life. Why was it important? What did it help you with? Say words of gratitude, say words of forgiveness, depending on what the situation is, what makes sense, what feels right? But all of those steps are going to be important for you to move on. And again, moving on is not really, apologize for the dogs. Moving on is not just about, not repeating the same pattern and not doing this again, but it's also about opening up the door to something new, to a different energy. Or if it was an unfortunate relationship, to a different relationship. For masculines, we have the warrior. Be fearless and stand strong. Okay, so masculines have been actually exploring the feminine energy for a while now, and now it's time to stand strong and be the warrior. It's like hold the frame now. That's the command, that's the motto now, like I need to stay in my power. I need to reiterate to the universe, like, this is who I am and this is what I want to build. It's time for communicating with clarity on what you want and moving forward towards it. We are fast approaching new moon energy that's coming in on Wednesday, I believe. Wednesday or Thursday, depending on where you are in the world. And I will definitely do a separate reading for that. It's also going to be a lunar new year, so it's going to be an exciting energy to look at, to work with. I'll look at some other transits as well to prepare and give you, the best information that I can, because it's going to be a big one, but it's also it's also one of the reasons why we're being prepared for this kind of like new phase, new start in some way. At least somewhere it's gonna be like, okay, there's this fresh jolt of energy. How do you want to use it? Put it to good use. That's what I'm trying to say. 6 of Wands, yes. You want to be victorious with your goals. You have your ambition, great. Now is the time not to be shy, but to actually be brave. I'm actually here and I don't know why. But be bold with it and say it out loud. This to yourself at first. That's a good start. All right. Queen of Swords. Yes, be very honest with what you want. Don't try to just play it nice, to just be like, okay, well, it's why would I be wishing for that? if I'm still over here, right? So I probably need to wish for something here and then over there. It's like, no. Wish for what you want. What's your best possible scenario of, where you want to be and what you want to be doing. And then, yeah, just be ready that it's not necessarily going to happen overnight, but you need to have your sights and your energy set on it. And understanding why. Why is also very important. Remember, right? Because the universe may choose to bring that something to you in a different way. Like the something would be the why, would be the what is the ultimate goal, like how is it going to make me happy, right? And then the universe is going to make you happy, get you there to the happy place, but it may do that in a very different way. Feminines, your energy is King of Wands clarified by Ace of Swords. I saw all this masculine energy and I couldn't resist. Yeah, so we are very much, and I think it has to do a lot with what's happening with Mars these days. But in any case, feminines, your head and your attention is turned towards the masculine energy. It could be literally your divine masculine, or it could be, the masculine energy as such, right? You may even be contemplating the gender roles and how do you see your masculine or, potential masculine if you're single right now, right? Take a very honest look at what your story is around the masculine energy. The positives, the negatives, why do you admire the masculine and you want to have masculine in your life? Or, why do you judge the masculine? And maybe specific cases and events that happen to you. Actually, I was doing, I'm constantly working on something in terms of inner work, in terms of certain patterns, and I actually remembered fairly recently that I had an incident when I was a kid where a boy from my I think it was still kindergarten, honestly, could have been maybe like elementary school, but we were little, and there was this boy who I was in school with who just literally like kicked me in my knees, like with his legs, like with his feet. He would just kick me several times really hard. And it wasn't like, for me, it was a shocking experience because he was a good boy generally, right? But there was a moment where there was some kind of misunderstanding. Like we were discussing something and laughing at something, and he thought, it was a situational thing. Doesn't even matter why, but he thought in the moment that I was laughing at him, which I wasn't. And that's why it came as a shock to me, like, what the F is going on here? And in my very sincere girly energy, little girl's energy, and he just went wild and like kind of kept kicking me. And I understood that I had some issues with my knees afterwards, and this was one of the reasons it happened actually. But it was such a shocking and out of the ordinary experience for me that I didn't even remember it as something important, But I'm like, these little bits here and there, they actually make up that impression that we have, or the story that we have in our head, even if a lot of it is, of course, subconscious, but it adds to it, right? And so, just have a very honest look, see where you can add some more objective information, where you can look into specific scenarios, especially if it was something negative. And if you are on the other spectrum where you're actually in awe of the masculine energy and you put your masculine on the pedestal like they are the best ever, then maybe have an honest look in terms of like, seeing more truthfully where they are, where they come short, or in the day-to-day life, how do they behave and how much do you let them get away with, and maybe you shouldn't. Feminines, masculines, and now I'm seeing the feminine energy. Surprise, surprise. Masculines, your energy is 7 of Wands, clarified by the Empress. Yeah, so you may feel that you need to take a little bit of time for yourself. And yes, as much as it may sound a little weird, maybe a little silly, but it is important to embrace the Empress in you. And it doesn't mean like doing girly stuff. It means more about finding that kindness and nurture inside of yourself, and also the childlike aspect of yourself, where you can you're open to surprises in your life in a good way, you know, where you get excited about things easily, you know, where you remember what excites you, right? And, you know, step a little bit outside of your day-to-day responsibilities and hardships of some sort, you know, where you feel like you need to be that strong warrior man, right? And try to balance it out with something fun and lighthearted, and doesn't have to be feminine in nature, but it's the energy, right? And what is your expression of what is your artistic expression in this world, right? It could be of course, could be fine arts, it could be music, it could be sports, even it could be, I don't know, being handy and like doing something with your own hands for like the house, something kind of DIY stuff. Maybe you're into cars and you restore classic cars or something like that. Maybe that's your artistic expression. Find that and delve deeper into that energy. You need it right now. Additional question for today is the Sun clarified by King of Pentacles. I love it. And the clarification deck today is the Celtic deck, which is, you know, the mythology of the Celtic or Celtic culture. Yeah, and I love actually, like, this King of Pentacles has a smile on his face, and I feel like there is that sunny disposition in that energy, right? It's like, how can we make this whole game of abundance, that's what I'm hearing, how can we make it fun? How can we play with it? So it's not like a matter of life and death, like whether I'm gonna earn this money or not, whether I'm gonna get the best refund for my taxes or not, or something like that, right? Like, how do we play with it? How do we see it as just one other aspect of enjoying this life to the fullest? Feminines, you have 9 of Wands clarified by 5 of Wands. Wow. Yeah, so for the feminines, right now there's still, I'm seeing this wands in my head as like the actual borders of like hiding yourself from certain things. Like money is seen as like, it's keeping me safe, it's keeping me going, you know, and I need to be careful with it. I can't take too much risk because so much depends on money in my life, right? So that's the story, or that's the belief that needs to change. And not to say that you can just like get rid, like gamble away all your money in one night, but see how you can little by little start taking some risks, or at least not see the connection to money and your livelihood directly, you know. Play with that idea, see how it's all relative. Don't want to go too deep into it because I don't want to make this reading too long, but hopefully you get the idea. You can also look that up. I'm pretty sure there is an episode in Mindfully Awake, which is, you know, the playlist is in the description box, where you can find an episode about abundance and see whether those thoughts and ideas will give you some kind of insights for yourself. And I really apologize about the dogs. I feel like their owners have left, and this is usually what happens. It doesn't happen often, but that was my little piece of luck today that they left basically as I was preparing to start a reading. Okay, so for the masculines, we see the Queen of Wands clarified by Ace of Cups. So, you know, there's a little bit of magic there, and money is actually directly connected with the notion of love or freedom, if you wish, because those concepts are also very connected. And maybe that's a new angle for you masculines to explore, right? Of how much can we bring in more love and freedom into the conversation, and that will mean more abundance and more money as a result of it, right? But not as the ultimate goal, right? And if you think about it, abundance in general is relative in terms of like those material resources. They make us feel a certain way. and a lot of times they give us freedom, they give us some kind of permission to do certain things or be of a certain way that we want to be, right? And we are so used to that connection that we don't necessarily read between the lines, but it is quite important. And see how you can, when you're making your goals, you don't focus necessarily on specific numbers, but you focus on a certain lifestyle you want to have, on certain things you want to be able to do, right? And then again, the resources will arrive more in a more natural way. All right, how are the masculine seeing the feminine seeing the connection today? Wow, there's definitely something here with the whole intertwined masculine and feminine energies. So feminines, how are they seeing the connection? We see 7 of Swords clarified by 10 of Cups. So feminines starting to see very clearly and honestly what the happily ever after means, right? In real life, because we do not live in a fairy tale. Like, there is a certain density to this 3D life that we live on Earth, and as much as we can be, I don't know, traveling to other realms in our dreamland, you know, connected in 5D, there's a certain 3D life that we are building for ourselves, that we're experiencing. Actually, some of it is outside of our control. So this is where the feminines are starting to grasp the reality of it, right? Like, what is it really gonna be? Is that gonna be heaven on earth every day? If I call it that way, maybe, right? But what do we include into it? Is that gonna be ideal? Does it mean we'll never gonna have a fight or we'll never have a struggle? No, it's not. Like, union is not like the ultimate all, you know, do all be all, whatever the expression is, right? It's just like another step of the evolution. And this is where the story changes, because there's 2 of you building that storyline together to a certain degree, right? So you combine your superpowers to be able to do something beautiful for the world. But it doesn't mean that it, like, automatically your life is going to be free from stress or from pain, because it's the ultimate part of this existence and this reality. It's also how we learn lessons. That's also how we grow a lot of times, and it's going to continue. It's just going to look different, or you'll be able to respond differently, but it doesn't mean that, you know, it's not going to happen. And then for how the masculine see the connection, we see the 3 of Pentacles and the Lovers. Yeah, masculine see that it has to be teamwork. And the reason why this could be a bit of a novelty idea is because a lot of times they're actually used to making decisions by themselves, or their idea is that, like, the whole concept of like this life with a life partner, right, is that they are going to be the head of the family, the head of the household. They are likely seeing themselves as the main provider, the breadwinner, you know, and that for the vast majority of masculines means that they're making the decisions, right? And here there is this contrasting belief that no, it's actually going to be teamwork in how we build this life, even if at the end of the day you're going to be the breadwinner, and you know, your divine feminine is going to be taking care of home, or, you know, exploring their gifts, but that's not necessarily going to be the main source of income. But it doesn't mean that you get to make decisions about everything, or everything's going to just run automatically the way you want, masculines, right? It will take work, it will work, teamwork, it will take some finding compromises, right? And coming into this with enough kindness so that you don't feel like it's my way or the highway, right? But that you're still strong enough, and that's another part of interdependent relationship rather than codependent. You're strong enough in your frame. That's where that 7 of Wands energy was that we started with. That you can actually stand up for what you want and what you need, you know, what's important to you, so that you can find a true compromise and you don't just go with whatever the feminine wants, because again, maybe it's part of the societal norm or the sayings that they have, you know, happy wife, happy life kind of deal. But that's not what we want in a happy twin flame connection, right? All right. I mean, we want the wife to be happy, but, you know, not at the cost of just going with whatever the feminine says. Okay, I hope this was useful for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please don't forget to like the video and also subscribe to my channel. And until next time,